Alright, here we are for round number 2 after our round 1 victory. Our opponent's mulliganed, we are on the draw. This hand is kind of bad, but I'm going to keep it. We got 2 removal spells. So, you'll find out about me that I absolutely hate having this card early. I kind of hate that I have to play it in my deck at all. But unfortunately, you can't always use Evankar's Justice to kill every opponent. There's a lot of decks where you just can't afford the life. Our opponent is on no land. No land 5-card hand. Maybe it's No Land Spy. I'll just be helping him out when I play this curse. I bet it is No Land Spy, so I will not be playing this curse until I have several counterspells up. Oh, Seat of the Synod? I guess it's not No Land Spy. It's just a very greedy Affinity opponent who kept a no land hand on the play. Alright, well, I think I'll go ahead and get the clock started. I have removal spells which are really good against their deck. And hopefully I just mill 2 lands right away. That'd be cool. Alright, one less blast to worry about. Star, not scary at all. So, I don't see myself casting 2 removal spells on this turn. I think it's a good opportunity to get a tapped land into play and then flash back my Think Twice. So, I'm going to go ahead and play the Dismal Backwater. It is kind of a tough choice there. Double land, see if he had 3 lands in a row. Could play a Frogmite. No Frogmite. Alright. I was really convinced our opponent was on No Land Spy. I'm going to play the Radiant Fountain so I can pick up my Radiant Fountain with my Aqueduct coming up. Okay, he's on the Temur Battle Rage version, but he's also got Ancient Dens, so that's interesting. I can't do anything about that, and I wouldn't even if I could. It's not an important card. Flare Husk is a little annoying since I don't have my Repeal. Let's go ahead and play Think Twice. Could flash it back. I think I'll just Echoing Decay the Germ. Gonna have to kill it eventually. That's only punishing me if I draw exactly Repeal here. Okay, Disfigure. I guess that's not really a punishment. I can't play the Aqueduct this turn and hold up Exclude plus Think Twice. I'm just gonna play an Island and pass the turn. So unfortunately, this is one of the only decks that could really recover from this position. Just because even with like not playing anything, they could definitely play like 5 or 6 creatures all in one turn right here. I'm gonna go ahead and disfigure this Frogmite right now. And then I think I'm just gonna Doomblade the Forger. I guess I should think twice first to be the most technically correct play. Okay. So our draw hasn't been super great, but it's been good enough, I think, to win this game. So I don't have enough mana no matter what I do to hold up 8, so I'm going to play, this is a good turn to play the Aqueduct and pick up the Radiant Fountain. I have enough to either cast Think Twice and Exclude, or Think Twice and flash it back. It's extremely likely I'm going to have to cast the Exclude this turn. This is one of the worst matchups for the deck, because they can deploy so many threats so fast, and all our removal is slow. And you might think, oh, 2 mana removal is not that slow. Well, yes it is. When they're playing multiple 0 mana 4/4s on turn 3, 2 mana is too much. So, I'm going to try to keep... Oh, okay, I'm going to exclude this one, because that turns off his Springleaf Drum here. And my opponent still didn't draw another land. They've gone through a lot of cards. Granted, this deck has an incredibly greedy mana base, so I don't feel too bad about it. I'm going to go ahead and play the Radiant Fountain. I haven't really counted the mana up, but my guess is that we could use all of our mana this turn if we wanted. Based on the teachings, Think Twice in the graveyard. We've got a 2, a 3, and a 4. Prism I think is fine. It does mean that he's only 1 mana away from playing free Mirror Enforcers. Like, when this comes down, that means all the Mirror Enforcers are free, which is pretty annoying. I think I will exclude this one. I'm going to Teachings for Exclude. Let's see, where are you? Exclude, there you are. Get some sweet value. It's possible I should have just cast Teachings for Counterspell, so I could, oh, that's their only one? Jeez, that play looked really good then. I didn't really expect that to be the case. Alright, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 mana means I can Teachings for a Counterspell and play it, so I don't really want to use my Aqueduct here if I don't have to. Alright, another Forger. I don't really have an answer for it, but I kind of want to keep this Counterspell, so I think I'm going to Teachings for my Devour Flesh. So I want to keep the ATOG off the table. But I'm gonna Teachings for Teachings first, so I don't run out of gas. Then I'll use that Teachings to get my Devour Flesh. Actually, don't really need to kill this. The only reason I kind of want to is that means I can get the what's it called? I can get the Springleaf Drums offline. We are getting to the point where Crypt Incursion is going to gain me like a zillion life, but I'm not quite there yet. Let's get these Aqueducts out. I'm going to leave the Forger in play and just Teachings for something else at this point. I might need to counter something. Can't just go and tap like really low and get ATOG flinged out of the game. Okay, just hit me for 4, which is interesting. How many Mirror Forces are in here? We got 1, 2. That's it. An ATOG. Just keep that off the table entirely. Let's counterspell it. I should have probably gotten the false summoning or whatever, the remove soul. Okay. That's fine with me. Prohibit is a nice draw. Let's go ahead and just play this Radiant Fountain and pass the turn. The thing is, I'm not sure this Forger can kill me in time. Anyway. There's 2 Galvanic Blasts in the graveyard, so it does have 2 more, probably. Still, I just need to stay above 8. Frogmite's fine. ATOG is getting hit with a Prohibit. Really don't want to die to ATOG Fling, so he's only got 1 ATOG left. Let's go ahead and Flashback Teachings. Gonna go grab my last Teachings out of here. Gonna kill the Frogmite. My opponent's only down to 3 cards. They might use a Fling here to just deal me 2 if they've got multiple Flings in hand. Okay. They're just short on red mana, so they're gonna use it right now. While they can. Okay. Just gonna do that. They only have 1 Galvanic Blast left in their deck, so I don't have to worry about going down to 11 here. I'm not worried about that at all. I'm still really only worried about the last ATOG plus a Fling, so I'm going to keep this Teachings up for that. Yep. I guess we'll get the False Summoning. I assume their one of their last cards is definitely a Fling, almost for sure. Okay, I'm gonna have to Teachings for Crypt Incursion here, and that'll probably end the game. So just go ahead and do that in their upkeep. Alright. Let's do that. Just want to gain so much life they can't do anything about it. I could have cast the Pristine Talisman, but you never know. These decks are, I've seen some of them playing Metallic Rebuke, and I wanted to play around that, so I didn't want to play my Talisman. And you never know, they might be playing like Spell Pierce or something. some of those soft counters. So we actually didn't draw amazing against them, but I drew well enough, and they had a terrible draw, so able to win that one pretty easily. Never really even close to being in danger. So definitely want Hydroblast in this one. I do normally have to decide if I want to bring in the Dispels, because they do have a lot of instants. They had the Perilous, whatever it's called, Perilous Research. They're going to have Pyroblast for me. They usually have Dispel, and they have Galvanic Blast and Fling, so I think I do want the Dispel. Typically I bring in the Anglers as well. So I want to bring in these cards, and then I normally bring in Duress. So kind of a lot of cards to bring in, but a lot of our removal spells are very bad, so these Disfigures are pretty bad. I like to keep one in. They do have a couple things, like they had that, you can see they had, what was it called? That Germ. They have the Germ token, and they've got Frogmites, so I like to have them in for that. I almost always take out the Curse against decks with Pyroblast. I don't want to protect this. I hate protecting this card, so I'm not going to play it. Repeal is great against the Germ. It's not very good against any of their other cards, but if I have room for it, I'll keep it, but I'm kind of thinking I won't have room for it. So let's go down here and see what other cards are bad. So Agony Warp is pretty bad. I think it's just worse than Echoing Decay. It doesn't really kill anything unless they equip a Germ, or unless they equip to a 2/2, then Agony Warp can kill it and Echoing Decay can't. But I like to keep the Echoing Decay in case they play like a bunch of Frogmites or whatever. Plus having 2 Echoing Decays, in theory, you can like kill multiples of their 4/4s. So I'm going to take out the Agony Warp. Alright, so how much more do I need to take out? A lot still. I'm going to take out the Deprive, because counterspells are too slow on the draw. In fact, I might take out a counterspell as well. I'm going to take out the Crypt Incursion is not very good. It was pretty good there, but it's not that great. I'll take out the Repeal, I think. This is a tough call. I might take out one Evankar's Justice and keep in my Repeal. But I kind of like the Evankar's Justice. Let's just keep this. Repeal is just so bad unless they have exactly a Germ token. And I only have one of them, and I don't have time to search it out to kill their Germ token. So this is a mulligan. If we had a Dismal Backwater, I would probably keep this. If we had a Dismal Backwater in addition to the island. Alright, we're like our opponent last game. Mulliganing really low. Put that on the bottom. See what our opponent has here. Obviously I'm going to lead off with this Dismal Backwater into the island. Hold up Counterspell. Okay. And I'll play the Swamp the next turn and the Aqueduct to pick up the Swamp so I can hold up Counterspell the whole time, although it's almost certain I'll have to play this next turn. It's just so unlikely. Wow. This is a really slow start for Affinity. Okay. One thing you need to remember when you're playing a deck like this is that you can play Doomblade anytime, but you can only play Counterspell at like exactly one time. I think I might actually counter this. Yeah. So this will shut them off of playing any more spells this turn unless they have another land. Yeah, looks like that's what they wanted to do. And also, I can't Doomblade it, and it's going to eat one of my Edicts at some point anyway. So we slowed him down an entire turn by doing that. So it feels pretty good. Feels pretty bad that he just has another one though. Our hand is not shaped up very well. It's kind of the idea of it kind of color screwed my opponent last turn. Like this turn, now they're going to get to play a 4/4. They can play either of the 4/4s this turn. And I'll just Doomblade it, and then I'm going to Ash Barrens for an island. Okay, they're too scared, I guess. Just want to hold up their Pyroblast, probably. You grab an island. Yeah, let's pick up the Radiant Fountain here. Nice little spot to do that. So our hand has been terrible, our draw has been pretty bad. I think I haven't drawn any spells, right? She's just gonna Galvanic Blast me at the end of turn. Oh, Perilous Research. Is it gonna get rid of the Germ? Okay. Getting rid of a land. Must have drawn some lands because that's insane for someone who missed their land drop one turn to sack one of their lands. Doomblade's killing me. If I had any other removal spell, I would have popped this Germ to turn off the Springleaf Drum at some point. But I can just Doomblade that guy. Okay. I think our opponent's one artifact short of playing anything good. Yep, looks like they are. Alright, goodbye Forger. Echoing Decay. Kinda at the point now, my opponent has all their colors. There's not really any point in killing that Germ with the Echoing Decay. It'll just mean that he can move the Flare Husk to something else, and I don't really want that to happen. If he has an Atog here, we're done for. Alright, so Flare Husk is the best card in the deck against us, pretty much. It's a little annoying that our opponent got so many of them. Okay, Mirror Enforcer. Another drum. I could have killed the Germs in response to that drum. Maybe I should have. That would put my opponent down to just 2 mana here. Yep, an Atog is fine. On account of me not being able to do anything about it anyway. Alright, Germ. Oh, I screwed up. So I shouldn't have, that was a mistake by me probably. I shouldn't have let the Atog resolve. Now he can eat this Flare Husk and fizzle my Echoing Decay. I'm not sure he wants to do that anyway, but I shouldn't have given him the option. Another Echoing Decay is not great here. Pretty much just have to hit this Atog right now with it. He gets a free sacrifice, but I don't have anything. Maybe I should represent Hydroblast or removal spell, but just gonna try to get some of the artifacts off the board. That was probably a mistake. I think I just spewed this off too fast. I don't think there's anything we could do here to win really, but he doesn't quite have lethal yet. But if he plays like any artifact, I think he does have lethal. The Froggy might. Another Atog. It would be nice to have an Echoing Decay and just like hit 2 Atogs at once. There was no reason to cast that last turn. I should have just waited until this turn. So it's not like pumping it. I kind of in my head like burn spells, you want to play it on your turn. So when you play the burn spell on your turn, they have to sacrifice before the turn they're actually attacking. But that's just not the case here. Okay. Looks like your opponent's holding up Pyroblast, but not Dispel. I think we're dead here if he sacks out. Want to at least make him think I might have something, I guess. Although the Echoing Decay sure makes it seem like I don't have anything. Problem is, no matter what I draw here, I'm still gonna die. Well, see what my opponent does here. If they sacrifice like everything to the Atog this turn to kill me, I can just capsize it away, I guess. He might still have lethal, the other one. Capsize is another card I should consider taking out, but I do like to keep it. If I were my opponent, I wouldn't sack anything. I'm going to always yield to this so he feels safer and just like sacks tons of stuff. Is this lethal? 9, 10, 11. No, it's not. Puts me to 4 though, so I am dead too, like anything. Just go ahead and capsize the Atog. Pyroblast, cool. Chainer's Edict, a bit too late. Alright. Tom F has defeated me. So it's possible I want more like Disfigures or something, and I kind of want more of these on the play, possibly. My opponent has so many Germs, I think I do want this repeal in my deck. I'll take out the capsize. I've definitely won a lot of games against them with capsize, but it's also just not that great. I still do like the duresses. If you can take their spring leaf drums and stuff out of their hand or their flings, you can really get them. I might want to take out one more justice. It would have been pretty okay there, actually, for a number of those turns, like kill all the germs and the frogmites and stuff. But one might be enough. I might want one more removal spell instead, like one more disfigure. I'm not really worried about win conditions. The anglers will be enough to kill him eventually, or just one justice. They also draw more cards than us, so they'll run out of cards before me anyway. I don't need to worry about playing real stuff. I guess I would rather have the disfigure or echoing decay, agony warp, or disfigure. I already have 2 echoing decays. Let's go with the disfigure. Yeah, let's go with the disfigure. It's possible there should be another counterspell though. Alright, would I like to play first? Yes, I would. Sand seems pretty good. It's pretty slow. I can't really cast anything till turn 3, but that's fine on the play. On the draw, that would be pretty unacceptable, but on the play, I might be able to get away with it. Chromatic Star, not scary. Scariest turn 1 from them is a Springleaf Drum. Let's see what I have to do this turn. Okay, since he played this, that means I get to get my Talisman out. So I'm very happy about that. I don't have any counterspells, so I don't have to really worry too much about holding up counterspell at this point. We could get really owned here if he's got just like tons and tons of Mirror Enforcers, and I also didn't hit any lands in my top 2, so I really need to hit one here. Like, it's kind of crazy that our opponent with 16 lands in their deck has more lands than us, and we've got 23 in our deck. Alright. Carapace Forger. Get, what's he gonna get killed by? Let's go ahead and cast Innocent Blood and think twice. Okay. Get to hold up this repeal for 1, which isn't great, but if he plays a germ, I will repeal it, otherwise I'm going to cast think twice. Wonder if our opponent is missing their land drop. They're kind of slow to play one at this point. Wish I could counter that second one. Opponent might be a little color screwed too. Star. Drum. Okay, I'm not going to repeal the drum, I'd rather just cast think twice. Okay, I could cast that. I'd like to play my Innocent Blood first. I think I'm going to think twice to look for a land. Okay, we missed. I'm not worried about it getting Atog flinged this turn, so I'm going to go ahead and repeal the star. Alright, we hit our land. Cool. So the star means he has to invest another mana in the star. He didn't have a Mirror Enforcer last turn because he could have played it for free. So star means he's got to spend the mana to do that, and then also in order to fix his colors. Perilous Research. Our opponent's doing a lot of dirtling this game. They've cast 4 card draw spells already, and only 1 action spell. Obviously that's not great since I used my repeal up, but I still am actually pretty happy with the decision now that I was able to hit my land drop. 2 Husk is a little annoying that I have this Disfigure instead of an Echoing Decay. Okay, just a star. I could grab an Echoing Decay. That seems like not that bad of a plan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So our opponent still doesn't have lethal even with a Tug Fling, even if he plays a couple more artifacts. Kind of want to flash back the thing twice to try to hit a land. I missed a land again here. I think I'm going to go ahead and Echoing Decay them. I've got multiple Edicts in my hand. I'd really like to get those out. I guess I'm going to cast this in my opponent's upkeep. Yeah, I think I'll do it in their upkeep. They're holding up the only spells that could really interact with this anyway. They were already holding up. They could just Galvanic Blast the Germ to not lose the other one, but I'm happy to take a Galvanic Blast out of their hand to do that. And if they were holding up like a Dispel or a Spell Pierce last turn, it's all the same to me. If they have a Perilous Research, that's pretty bad for me. I should have maybe thought of that. If they have another Perilous Research, that's kind of bad for me. Kind of looks like that's what's happening to me. I didn't expect them to have so many of these in their deck still, because they're kind of bad against me, but that was probably a mistake by me anyway. I already saw I had one left, and the reason I don't like these that much is you need more threats and like you need to be faster. So unfortunately I haven't been able to draw any counterspells yet, which means it's going to be a little tough for me if my opponent just decides they want to go A-Tug Fling. I'm not going to have the easiest time. Luckily I can still disfigure this germ and kill it. Alright, so let's go ahead and disfigure the germ. Gonna flashback, think twice. That was an amazing draw. That was the best draw. Gonna Edict away this Mirror Enforcer. And then Aqueduct picked up our Radiant Fountain. Alright. So at this point we're kind of in like A-Tug Fling or Bust territory for our opponent, I think. I don't know what's all in their hand. They've just been sitting there with tons of cards and just not playing any threats or anything. I don't really know what's going on over there. Can I play both of these this turn? I probably have to get rid of some of my stuff in my graveyard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Not quite enough to play them both. I think I'll probably just Teachings then instead. Wonder if my opponent just has too many like reactive spells or if they're flooded. Okay, Prophetic Prism. We're getting to the point where I think they have enough for an A-Tug Fling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So they are one short right now. Teachings, I'm going to grab another Teachings. Okay, we missed again. Let's go ahead and play this guy. I want to keep up Teachings for Hydroblast, but that's all I need to keep up, so I'm okay playing it like this. Okay, I do turn off my Angler or my Innocent Blood for a little while, but I've got a lot of removal. I'm not so much worried about my opponent playing a creature that I can't deal with. I'm worried about them comboing me off with A-Tug Fling. We might get double Galvanic Blasted here on our Gurmag Angler. If we do, I think I will prohibit the second one. This is kind of annoying, but I can't really counter it. I'm just going to probably Devour Flesh it at the end of turn. I will let my opponent just equip it with all of these if he wants. Just get a little lower on mana. Actually, I think I'm going to Teachings end of turn instead. So let's go Teachings. I'm going to go ahead and grab a counterspell, I think, so I can be a little safer against my opponent here. Play Dismal Backwater. Actually, just going to start attacking. Not particularly worried about this germ. We're going to race it very easily, so I'm going to leave it in play for now, I think. I just want to make sure I save the mana for stuff that's important. So I'll be able to counterspell. Another Flare Husk is, again, it's annoying, but it's fine. It's got the full 4, that's kind of crazy. Are there that many edicts running around? Jeez. Alright, I take 3. I'm going to go ahead and flashback my teachings. I would think I will protect it with my Prohibit if my opponent tries to counter it. I'm going to grab another teachings. Hopefully I can hit a land, but I did not. Actually, since I missed a land, I'm going to go ahead and... no, I'm not going to do anything. Let's see if he wants to jump. Be fine with a jump. I'll cast a Chainer's Edict if he jumps. I assume this means a Galvanic Blast for my opponent. Which I'm not sure if I want to counterspell or not. Alright, I'll just pass the turn. I'm going to discard my Innocent Blood. Fetter Prism's fine. Frogmite also fine. He's got to equip. Okay, he's got the ATOG now. Let's go ahead and prohibit the ATOG. My opponent could potentially counter this many we could just lose here. I mean, I only have 2 counterspells, unfortunately. But I'm going to try to play around Metallic Rebuke. I think Metallic Rebuke only counters if you... I think it just mana leaks. But let me quick check if it's 4. There's a Pyroblast. Check out Metallic Rebuke. I'm just quick looking it up on my phone here. Okay, it's 3. Alright, so gotta decide how scared I am of Fling. I think my opponent is, I assume my opponent is lethal with Fling. 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Does have lethal with Fling. So if he's got another Pyroblast and a Fling, I'm dead here. I'm going to let the ATOG resolve, just in case he's got double ATOG and a single Fling. My opponent has seen my counterspell, so if they just have it all, they have it all. And unfortunately, I didn't really draw any counterspells, so there's just nothing I could do about this situation here. Yeah, it looks like we're dead. That's unfortunate. I think we got pretty unlucky this game to draw all our removal and no counterspells, but I mean, I've only got, what, 10 counterspells that could have countered this situation? Or do I have more? I've got double exclude. I think I have 2 of my counterspells, or do I have just 1 exclude? Yeah, so I've got 3 more counterspells for 5, 2 dispels, and 2 hydroblasts. Could have prevented this whole thing. If my opponent just has Pyroblast, my Devour Flesh might be enough. I might be able to Devour Flesh my Gurmag Angler and still survive. So we'll see what they have. Let's see how big he goes. I also have to consider if I want to cast Doomblade on this thing before it gets to 32. Make him sacrifice one more thing. Well, my opponent is sacrificed in such a way that if they don't have enough, they can't kill me. So, like they'll have no way to come back since they sacrificed all their lands. So right here I could Doomblade, but it just forced my opponent to sack one more thing before flinging, and that's not that important. So my opponent did play around Devour Flesh. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it. They had exactly enough to play around my Devour Flesh as well. That's pretty frustrating that, yeah, there's just nothing I could do about any of this. I don't think I could have played this game any differently. I mean, I'm still going to cast this counterspell that they know I have. But that's pretty annoying. Yep. And there's nothing I could do there. So, pretty frustrating. Normally, they can't win this way because I have so many counterspells, so many more counterspells than them. But my opponent drew more counterspells than me this game, in that they drew 2 and I drew 2 the whole game. And I even tutored one of these out. And they had to do it this turn because next turn I was going to teachings for another counterspell. So, pretty unfortunate there. Yeah, still had all these from the opponent. Nice. Alright, we lose. So this is one of the worst matchups for the deck, so it's not surprising that we lost it, but it was a little frustrating to go down this way because, yeah, there's nothing I could really done differently that game, I don't think. Got a little stuck on mana. I think I cast this Repeal at a good time. I think I played around my opponent's tokens pretty well. It was possible I should have not taken the 3 damage off the token, but since they had a Dispel, it actually wouldn't have mattered at all. So, that's that. Let's move on to round number 3.